Well, the archery season is finally upon us, and this year, more folks than ever will try their luck with traditional bow hunting gear. But there's at least one man who takes traditional bow hunting beyond a sport and makes it a lifestyle. His name is LaClair, and he lives and works in Potterville, Michigan. The trailer that he brings to the Michigan Bow Hunters Rendezvous every year stands outside his little shop and announces to passers-by that traditional bow hunting is alive and well. Inside the shop, Ron greets folks with a friendly smile, somewhat reminiscent of a Grizzly Adams character. He has the uncanny ability to size up a person and fit them with a bow that fits their personality. He has become well known in archery circles for a bow called the shrew. It's a shorter version of the traditional longbow that makes it easier to shoot from trees and thick brush. Ron's success in designing bows like the shrew didn't come from scientific analysis of arrow flight or the physics of stress testing the load-bearing characteristics of various wood species. Ron simply uses his bows to hunt with, and he's found out through experience what works and what doesn't. His shop is a testimony to his skill, but you won't hear him brag, because Ron is a humble man. But what makes a man live and breathe a traditional, almost primitive lifestyle? Maybe the answer lies in how he was raised, who his heroes were, and what things were like when he started to hunt.
Back when I started hunting, I started bow hunting for deer in 1955. And all through that time it's been traditional bows, recurves and longbows. I never had the desire to get into the high-tech part of it because I guess it wasn't as romantic as the traditional type archery. And that's a big part of it, you know, the romantic part of it, the history of bows and arrows, reading about the early hunters like Ishii, the last wild Indian that they found in California, and his exploits of bow hunting and so forth. This part of archery has that kind of history to it, and it makes it even more interesting. The thing I like about the traditional archery, it puts more of a challenge into it. The idea of using a recurve bow or a longbow and hunting from the ground or hunting without bait puts more of a challenge into the hunt. So consequently, when you are successful at taking a deer hunting this way, the rewards are greater. You feel like you've really accomplished something, and at the same time you've hunted in the way that your forefathers hunted, you know, in the way that hunters have hunted with bows and arrows since time began.
Ron says that he has a deep and abiding belief that his soul is that of a hunter, that living and hunting like our forefathers is what he was meant to do. And one has to admit that whether he is hunting with Flintlock or longbow, Ron LaClair is acting on his beliefs. Ron's traditional archery shop obviously reflects his passion for the primitive side of hunting. He has the outdoor gear that is made for the traditional hunter. He likes to say that many folks who visit his shop have come full circle, meaning that they started with a longbow or recurve, moved to a high-tech compound bow, and then back to traditional bows again. He's quick to say that he has no quarrel with the compound bow shooters, it's just not his cup of tea. For Ron LaClair, his shop is a labor of love, but his dream job didn't come about without a lot of years of hard work.
I worked for General Motors for 30 years, and I retired from Oldsmobile, and I started my business previous to that and was on a part-time basis, and now I'm doing what I like to do. Like I say, archery is a big part of my life, not only mine, but my wife Nancy's too. I bought her first bow, taught her how to shoot it, and so it's a big part of both of our lives, but especially for me here, because this is my full-time job now. I can stay here in the shop and I get to meet people with interest like mine. They come in here and they're interested in this type of archery, and it's just real rewarding for me to be able to be in constant contact with these type of people. I hunt because I have this burning desire to be in the woods, to be after animals, and I truly believe it's a natural instinct that just hasn't been bred out of me or whatever. I was raised on a farm as a boy, and you know, I learned how to trap muskrats at an early age and hunted with my dad from his time I could walk after small game and so forth. And I was raised in a hunting environment, but I still feel that if I couldn't go out in the woods with a bow or some kind of a weapon in my hand and in search of animals, something would be gone out of me. This seems to kind of fill something within me that I need to have. This relationship between myself and the animals and the wild areas that we have left.
To hunt and hunt traditionally is what Ron LaClair lives for. He's an interesting portrait of a modern man living a traditional lifestyle. And it's interesting to think that if, for some reason, the wheels stop turning and the world decides to go on strike, Ron's life would change very little. He would still be able to get to and from his favorite hunting spot, and he would never, ever go hungry.